So how's everybody doing? How's everybody making out with your self-quarantines or your full quarantines or whatever the fuck you got going on? Well, I'm coming in before the intro because I had my first guest on Tony Talks today. My good friend, well, probably my best friend, one half of my best friends anyway, Joe Galante. And he's on the front line of the fight with the coronavirus. He's a firefighter. He's also a nurse, and he's actually screening people before they get tested for the virus. So he's very much in close proximity with people that have the virus or are suspected of having the virus. And because I'm in Texas and he's in New York, we had some issues with the Skype at times. I know my microphone was probably a little bit further away than it had to be. It's my first time doing an interview with Skype. And as well, sometimes he came in a little choppy because of the internet and because of coming in and out of Skype. Usually it's just recorded straight onto the computer. So, we did have a little bit of technical issues, but for the most part, you can make out everything okay. Hopefully it's not too much of an issue. I'll get better at it. The calls quality will keep improving. And if you don't like it, I apologize. But in reality, you could go fuck yourself. So enjoy the show, and I'll talk to you later. Alright everyone, welcome to Tony Talks. This is our 8th episode, and it is a historic episode because
I told you guys I was going to be getting a guest, and your boy came through, and I actually mentioned him on the last podcast. Joe, did you listen to the last podcast?
Not yet, Tony. I gotta admit, I'm not gonna lie to you. I haven't listened to the last one yet.
I sent you, and
tomorrow
I sent
morning.
Stephen.
I have a nice ride to work. I could get it going tomorrow morning, but I haven't gotten to it yet.
I knew you didn't because I sent you and Stephen the link, and I said both of you guys got a shout out on this episode. And Stephen responded, but he probably didn't listen to it anyway.
He probably sent the sympathy LOL or haha. Those always go
that's
well.
what he did. I think he wrote LMAO.
Yeah, when you don't know what to write, you either go with an LOL, a haha, LMAO. Those always work.
And to be frank, when you told me that you were going to come on here, I was waiting up until this call started for you to speak. Nah, libs.
Yo,
I can't come on.
I actually had to find out. I said if Jake didn't go to sleep by 9:30, I was bailing. But the kid went right down. I got to give the guy credit. He went right down like a champ. Laid down, took his bottle, said good night, Dad. See ya.
That's hilarious.
That's actually not how it happened at all. He screamed for about 15 minutes and then he fell asleep. But it worked.
But you got it done. You knew your boy needed you.
It.
We had this commitment.
Me and Dakota down in the basement on the podcast, chilling.
You got your dog there?
Yeah, she follows me everywhere. That's why dogs are the best.
So if anybody that doesn't know, Joe and I have known each other for like 25 years at least now. One of my best buds and one of the hardest workers I know. I said it in a group chat with you and the big cat. That's Stefan. You can hear us talk about him. Sometime I'll have him on. If Keep Hammering, which is Cam Haynes' quote, was a person, it would be this stiff right here.
Yeah, but my problem is I keep hammering with like work, but not like physical activity, which I was thinking about today. I got to start working out or something. I'm getting way too fat here.
But you're a firefighter.
Right. I'm not like obesely fat, but just
you could carry shit.
I was actually talking to my friend today about fitness, and we were talking about how
the fact you said I was actually talking about fitness.
We were saying how you look at a guy like Conor McGregor, right? And then you look at a guy like, say, Ronnie Coleman, the bodybuilder, right? Mm-hmm. You know what guys, you know what guy I'm talking about? That big black guy, jacked up, not Wood, Ronnie Coleman.
Yeah, no, Ronnie Coleman.
But so you got Ronnie Coleman, who's a bodybuilder. You got Conor McGregor. If you asked, I would say 90% of the population, I would say most people. Who would you rather look like? Would you rather look like Conor McGregor or would you rather look like Ronnie Coleman? I would say almost everybody would tell you Conor McGregor. Like guy Ronnie Coleman, he can't even wipe his ass. His biceps are too big, right? But yet, what does everybody do? They go to the gym and they do basic bodybuilder workouts. They do the back and buys Monday, chest, right? The chest and try split, right? Whereas we should all be training like a Conor McGregor. Like you go out and you do 10 minutes of burpees, as many burpees as you can in 10 minutes, you're going to be exhausted. If you just did that every day, you'd be in good shape. But I'm a lazy fuck, so I don't do it.
I've been doing this body weight workouts from Onnit.
I bought one. I bought the Onnit 6 kettlebell workout. It was like $50 or like $40 or something like that. I did 3 days and quit because I'm a fat loser, but I would like to start doing it. I got to start doing something again, Tony. I'm falling apart.
Dude, but I was lifting a lot, and then I started, because of this fucking this quarantine shit, the big Rona. The body weight stuff, I feel great. And I put a pull-up bar.
100%. Like I was just saying, I was saying today, like you do 7 minutes, as many burpees as you can. You're going to be laying on the floor in 7 minutes, exhausted, dripping in sweat. That to me is better than driving 15 minutes to the gym, doing a 50-minute circuit where you don't even get a workout. Like you barely break a sweat, but you got a little pump going. That's what I keep saying to myself. Every day I got to get like 15 minutes of just, wake up, do 100 ass squats, 50 push-ups, 5 or 6 pull-ups, boom, go to work. Like there's no excuse not to do that every day. So that is my goal in this quarantine, in this time where you have to simplify everything. I need to get back to doing something every day, something physical every day. You got to work on your mind every day. You got to work on your body every day. So maybe read a little book, tell some jokes, listen to a podcast. Tony talks,
Come on to a podcast.
Do a little workout. Come on to a podcast. You got to get it from all angles. That's my goal. I keep hammering with the work. I got 1,000 jobs. Find a new job every day, but got to start paying more attention to, myself, my mental health, my physical health, all that good stuff.
And because that's so important to you, what we're going to do is we're going to make sure when you're on again, because we're going to work on having you on like as a weekly spot, because first of all, why not? Second of all, because you got some interesting insights, because you have so many freaking different jobs that are critical.
Speaking of critical jobs, I know we spoke about it a little bit earlier, but started doing a new job today, which is a temporary job. I don't know if you wanted to hit this now, but while we're on the topic,
there you go.
Coronavirus testing at PNC Bank Arts Center. And
where is PNC Arts?
You know where the concerts are? All the country concerts, right off. It's exit 116 on the Garden State Parkway.
Okay.
It's a little venue where they have like small concerts all summer. They play a lot of country music there.
I know where that is.
I've been there. Me and my wife go there all the time. So they set up the parking lot to be a coronavirus testing spot.
Right.
So I saw this job on Facebook, and I used to work. Well, I know you know, but the listeners don't know. I used to work for.
You're a nurse.
Yes, I'm a nurse also, and a fireman.
Joe's also a nurse. He's a firefighter, and he's also a nurse, and he's also a freaking starting quarterback for the football team for FDNY. After he just talked about how he needs to exercise more.
Whose season is now on hold due to coronavirus. So that's another story. But so
I can't see.
So I go on So I used to take care of this man who currently lives in Florida. Well, I still do take care of him, but due to this coronavirus and the travel restrictions, and my part of the problem is also because I'm a first responder and because I'm a nurse here in Staten Island, we're all at high risk to get this virus. So it would be negligent of me to go down to Florida and take care of somebody and give them this virus. So that also, and now with the fact that we now Florida is not allowing people from New York to fly in without being quarantined for 14 days. So that job's pretty much out the window for now. So I'm looking for extra side work, and I got his new job working at PNC Bank Arts doing coronavirus testing. Found it on Facebook, messaged the woman, awesome lady, gets me hired within a few days. Next thing you know, I'm testing. And when I could tell you, it was a surreal experience. What's crazy, I don't know about how it is down there in Texas, but up here in New York, what's weird is you go home, right? You're home. I'm home with my wife. I'm home with my 2 kids. and it's like nothing happened, right? As long as you don't turn on the news, it's like nothing, it's like normal. You live your normal life. You're changing diapers, you're making breakfast, you're doing bottles, you're playing, tag and hide and seek and playing Nerf guns, and like you go to live normal life. And I was home for the last 2 days, and you kind of get caught up in your bubble, and now you go to this testing site and you think you're in like a scene from Contagion. It was beyond, I couldn't believe it. You have 50, 60, 70 healthcare workers there, nurses in full blown Tyvek suits, full PPE, gowns, masks, everything you can imagine. You got Army, Air Force, National Guard, whatever the hell these guys are, in their camo fatigues. You got helicopters flying overheads, and you got cars lined up as far as the eye could see with sick people in it. And when I tell you, this is one thing that I noticed was you hear on the news how like this is, it's kind of, or I don't even know if it's the news or you just on Facebook, social media, whatever, like this is a virus that really impacts older people. From what I see, that's from the truth. There was rich people, there was Jaguars and Mercedes-Benz, and there was, 6 immigrants packed into a van. There was young people, there was old people, and I'll tell you one thing, the people looked very sick. You could see the sweating, you could see the people coughing. It was a real. I mean, I really felt like I was in the movie Outbreak, and it was crazy. It was an unbelievable experience. Not only just to make money and to provide, but just to experience something like this. Hopefully, this never happens again, and no one has to experience it. We don't have to go through this again. But the experience, seeing what testing that many. They tested 250 people today, and they probably turned away another 250 because the labs can't take any more tests than that. So you go from like in your bubble at home to seeing that, and you realize, holy shit, this is real. This isn't like, this isn't something you see. You think about like war, right? Like you see these war movies, and it's just like it seems so far from your reality because you're here in your nice home with your cable TV and your internet, and like it's all good. You can't even imagine that there's people out fighting war. It's kind of like a similar experience, but not comparing it to war at all, but like you see this whole Corona thing on your TV and you don't really realize it. And then you go 25 minutes from your house and you're like, holy shit, this is real. This is actually happening. This isn't like a figment of this isn't like a TV show or anything. This was pretty crazy stuff. But
the labs, so you guys have 250 tests, or labs can only take in 250 tests to get the results back?
They have a bunch of tests, from my understanding. Again, this was I only did one day, and I only spoke to so many people. But the reason they turned people away was that I was told that they can only, the labs, whoever's, I think it was Quest or whoever was receiving these tests, they can only process so many tests in a day, and I'm assuming that the test is time sensitive. So they have all these testing sites set up across the tri-state area. So if they I think they're telling each place you can only do 250, because if we did 500 and the site in Bergen did 600 and the site in Staten Island did 900, the labs would never be able to process all those. You'd have a backlog of all these tests and so they eventually, I'm guessing, they would go bad and become negative tests, or the false positive test or something. So they only allow us to test. I mean, they have the capability to test more, I'm thinking, but it's more of the lab is like the limiting factor. You know what I mean?
Did you see people get tested, or you do the screening and then do you have any visibility on it?
Right. So what they do is, it's actually pretty cool. They broke us into 3 groups of nurses. The first group did screening, the second group did registration, and the third group did testing. So if you picture a big parking lot, they have it snaked. So they come in off the parkway, they come into the parking lot, and they immediately go to screening. So as soon as they come in off the parkway, there's state troopers directing them, and there's big signs that say it says keep your windows up. So they tell them,
it sounds like a movie.
Right, yeah. So you got the state troopers and National Guard directing traffic with all these signs. Keep your windows up. They pull up to the screening tent. Now, once they pull up to the screening tent, 2 nurses in full PPE, full garb, go up to the car. And now the cars could have, anywhere from 1 to 5, 6, 7, however many people are in that car. And so with the windows up, and now you can imagine the scene. You have nurses with masks, face shields, Tyvek suits, which is like that, that picture, all the movies you saw, like a guy in a hazmat suit, pretty much. It's a big plastic suit, covers you from head to toe, gloves, so yeah, these nurses coming up to the car, and you see the people, they're like, they're coughing, they're sweating with fever, and they're nervous because this, like I said, it looks like a scene from Outbreak. So they're already nervous and
so
panicky.
different. They don't know how to.
So they pull, and they're being told, like they're being not yelled at, but they're being like told, like keep your windows up, like. So now they're getting like this. You could see like the anxiety on these people's face, like, oh my god, is this really that bad? Like they want the window down to talk to somebody, like. So so the screening nurses ask them a series of questions. I believe the questions are: do you currently have a fever? Are you experiencing shortness of breath? Do you have a new onset cough? They have to answer yes to all three of those questions. That's where the
three.
Yeah, I believe. I don't know. I think that's what I was told. I didn't do the screening today, but this is what I was told. Maybe I got it wrong, but what I was told was that they have to say yes to all three of those questions. So if there was 4 people in the car,
watch
say
out.
only, right,
Sending the corona through the Skype right here.
So say there's only 2 people who say yes. So the screening nurses then they take 2 cards that are green and they hand them. They tell the patient to roll down their window a crack. They drop the green card in there and they tell them to write their phone number on the card. So if you didn't answer, so if you only had one person in the car and you said no to one of those questions, they send you right on your merry way. Say thank you, come back when you meet the criteria. If they said yes to those questions, you continue. You go to the next tent. So then the next tent was registration. So that was where I worked today. They come to the registration tent, and you tell them, again, windows up. You tell them put your license and your insurance on the dashboard. And then I come over, the license, their insurance, and the green card. The green card meaning that I know they're being tested. They were screened already. So sometimes you had 4 people in the car, but only 2 met the criteria. Only 2 people were able to get tested. And then I just took their insurance information, their credit card. I'm sorry, not credit card. Their driver's license, and it was actually pretty funny. You won't believe. I would say 40% of the cars, instead of putting their health insurance, put their Geico car insurance cards up on top.
Oh, just nervous.
Right, and then once we took their information, they went to the screening. I mean, to the testing, which was just a nurse sticking a nasal swab up their nose, putting it in a thing, and they went on their way.
Are they wearing any? Because you said half the car might get tested, half the car wouldn't. So if 2 people go and they test and they get positive, but the 2 people behind them didn't get tested, if they get the positive results back, would the other 2 be able to go back and get tested?
They can go back and you can only get tested if you're symptomatic. If you're not symptomatic, unless you're gonna, I mean, this is free testing. So I'm sure if you pay for a test, you can get. It's like anything else. If you pay for it, you can get whatever the fuck you want. But for the free testing that they're offering at these drive-through sites, unless you're symptomatic, you will not get tested.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. And I think they were telling people, pretty sure, like I know a few people who've come up positive, and their husbands and parents who they live with wanted to go get tested, and they would just tell them, they would say to them, assume that tell everyone there's no reason to go get tested. Everyone else in your household is positive. They consider them positive, quarantine for 7 days, and that's it. The one thing I see it in the nursing, I see it in the fire department, I see it at home. The one thing I feel, and this is not any evidence based doctrine. I'm saying this is just how I feel. Nobody knows anything, dude. The policy changes every day, everywhere. At first it was if you were in contact with anyone with a positive, you should quarantine yourself. Then it was, oh well, as long as you're not symptomatic, you don't have to quarantine, even if you were in contact. Now it's actually gone to, even if you've had a positive, they're telling you to go to work as long as you're not symptomatic.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that is.
They're saying go to work if you tested positive?
If you're asymptomatic, you could still work.
What about
with a positive test? Because I'm guessing they're saying that it's not
going to spread.
I think they're saying you're not as contagious. I don't know. I don't know if it's just because it's critical field, like but dude, like I said, my understanding is that I don't think anybody knows anything.
Yeah, that would be. And I saw something from the New York Post earlier.
It's scary. What scares me, Libs, is
You were breaking
for
up
me.
for a second.
Can you hear me?
On the Skype, it was. I don't know if it was the internet, but we hopefully on the recording it doesn't come out like that. But it's just choppy.
What I was saying was that what scares me is more. Listen, I'm a nurse. I'm a fireman. These are the things you signed up to do, right? You can't say I only want to be a nurse or a fireman when times are good, right? You sign up for this is your job. So I'm not worried about me going to work and getting. I worry, especially I go to work, I'm exposed, I contracted, and then I come home and I give it to my family. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what's scary. I got a 2-year-old, 2.5-year-old. I got a 3-month-old. My wife, her family. I got my father who is 60-something years old, and he's got lung problems from 9/11. That's what scares me. So it's like, and then you put yourself in a crappy situation. You say, what do I do? Do I not come home? Do I quarantine myself after work? But then people are saying this is going to go on for months. So I'm not going to go. I'm going to leave my wife by herself with 2 kids for 3 months.
That's what I would do.
As great as it sounds, I don't know if it would last, if it would work. That's the scary. That to me, that is the scariest thing about this whole coronavirus pandemic. As well as you hear all these you throwing out these crazy numbers that they're going to keep businesses closed. I don't know if you're a small business owner. Luckily, thank God, the jobs I have are essential jobs that I'm able to get a paycheck every 2 weeks. What do? You own a pizzeria. You own a small business. You do sprinklers. You're a power washer. You're a contractor. What do you do?
Was that addressed in the stimulus package that was passed?
And you would probably know better than me. I've been out of the loop. I've been honestly, I go back and forth. I go from being obsessed with this and trying to read articles and find all about this, and then I say I'm making myself crazy and I got to remove myself. And the last couple of days, I tried doing my best to try not to look at the news. I check the market every once in a while, and other than that, I'm trying to stay out of it. But I know it was passed today.
I want to ask you something real quick about the testing site. When you leave and you got the suit on and everything, is there any procedure when you take everything off? Is there a decon site or?
There's for me. Here's my decon. They told us we were done. They had big garbage bags. You took everything off in the proper way. You leave your gloves on. The gloves are the last thing. They teach you a way how to take everything off in nursing school just to limit the exposure to your clothes. But I kind of treated everything I had on as contaminated. So I took off all my PPE, threw that in the garbage bag, hopped in my car, went home. My wife was paranoid. She had the garage door up. I went into the garage, stripped down in the garage. She followed me with a Clorox bottle, touching every doorknob that I touched. I went right into the shower, threw the clothes right in the wash, showered, and then carried on. Is that the right thing to do? I have no idea. I mean, this is the uncertainty.
It's probably the best you could do for what you know about it.
Right. That's what I'm saying. This is what I'm kind of going back to. I feel like nobody knows anything. I mean, the scariest thing about this too is you see how crazy this is getting, and from everything you read, the coronavirus for the most part, Cuomo was saying on his press conference, it's going to affect 2% of the population. The 98% are going to be fine. That 2%. Can you imagine if something really came out that was had a 10% mortality rate? Ebola had a 10% mortality rate, but it really wasn't as it was bodily fluid contagious. Can you imagine something that had Ebola's mortality rate with coronavirus's spread rate? I mean,
yeah, I know.
You'd have chaos. It shows you how fragile this society actually is. It's crazy.
Is your wife there?
Yeah, she's recording me now.
Tell her we said what's up. Tell her to come on. Let's get her perspective.
Let's get your perspective. Tony wants your. Come here.
We have Jacka from @AJ Photography.
Hey, how you feel? Do you feel nervous that I work with people who had more people, corona?
Yes, I'm very nervous.
It's too echoey. It's not going to sound good. Tell her to come over and get a close to the
You're not on video.
I don't want to be on video.
You're not on video.
There's no video.
Jack,
What?
Tony has a question for you.
Yes.
When Joe came home, and you probably could speak, your perspective is probably mirrored by countless other wives or significant others that go through the same thing when their healthcare workers or whoever is getting exposed to this stuff every day. What was that like for you when Joe came home and you had to like disinfect all the doorknobs he touched and everything?
It's nerve-wracking. I have 2 kids. I don't know what this does. I don't know. I'm nervous. So I open the door. I set up the shower. I don't want him touching anything.
I don't mean to laugh. It's just it's different. It's crazy. So when you had the procedure over, he had the garage door open. Joe came in. He threw his clothes in the wash, and you just like escorted him to the shower and disinfected everything he touched.
Yes, everything. Cloroxed everything. And I don't know if it's helping. I don't know. It makes me feel better, but I'm very anxious. It's scary.
Yeah, I feel like, and Joe, the clothes that you throw in the wash, you had them on from when they were underneath. You had wearing them underneath the PPE that you at the site.
Yeah, but I gotta say, honestly, I feel safer there than I do going to the grocery store. Like the grocery store. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, I'm saying, like, you go to the grocery store and it's filled with people. Everyone, everyone's touching the cart. You're touching, who looks at the box of pasta, says, "Oh, I'm a fat bastard. Let me put the pasta back." You go to here, you're talking. Yeah, the people are sick, but you're talking to them through their window. You got every kind of PPE you can imagine on.
Did they roll the window down at all when they were at your station?
The window stays up the entire time. The only time the window came down is I had to make a copy of the sheet of paper I had. I would make a copy. I'd go over right to the window. And I'd say, "Sir, when I ask you to roll your window down a crack, I'm going to drop the paper in, and then I want you to roll it back up again." That's exactly how. And it would roll down a crack. I'd drop it in. They would roll it back up, and that was it. So and while I'm doing that with gloves, a surgical gown, a N95 mask on, and a face shield on.
Is Jackie gone now?
Yeah, she went upstairs. She's gone.
All right, you put the headset back on to sound better. So she's going to come back in 5 minutes with your sandwich, right?
Yeah, Jack, go get me a sandwich, please.
Just kidding. Oh, no. No
joke. No joke.
Do I have to edit that out now?
Nah.
All right.
We're allowed. This is, I don't know.
And are they getting quicker turnarounds now? I heard it's like 24 hours. It used to be like, remember Charles Barkley tested and then he didn't get the results back for like 2 weeks.
I think the tests we did today are 3 to 5 days. I think they're all coming up with faster ones, but like I said, if you pay for them, you probably get a better turnaround. But the free testing that's going around I think it's a 3 to 5 day turnaround, which is
that's reasonable.
Yeah,
here's a question.
What you got?
When they leave,
right?
Do you give them any exit instruction after they get tested?
I'm sure they do. To be honest with you, like I said, there's my only day there. I was only
there's a lot. I'm asking. We're expecting a lot for this being your first day.
But I would assume they do. They probably tell them, listen, if you're just basic medical advice. If your fever worsens, if the cough worsens, they tell you to go to the ER. Most likely. I mean, outside of that, what information can they really give you? I know they tell you that you're going to receive your test via phone call, a text, or whatever it is in a few days. But what else could they tell you? If your symptoms get worse and you can't breathe, go to the fucking hospital.
If they're working somewhere,
right? Stay home from work, dude. It's crazy. This is the other thing. So we're supposed to be on lockdown. 30,000 cases. You go outside, you drive down the road. There's people everywhere.
People. That's why
my neighbor went to. I see her come out. I don't even want to say. They got Michael's. They got Michael's bags. Like, so this is essential. You need to go buy some fucking arts and crafts.
Why are they open?
Right, exactly. Why is Michael's open? That's a great question. Yeah, just in case, God forbid, you need to go fucking make an Easter basket, you can go to Michael's. Thank God.
I was talking to Delossi about it, and we were talking about chiropractic offices, and I was like, why don't if there's a chiropractor, why would they not just do home service if somebody wants an adjustment instead of having people go to the office? Which if one person comes to the office that's infected, then they're all getting adjusted on the
Right,
same.
it's crazy. Bro. The other thing, this is something I wanted to talk to you about because I know you've been on this. Knowing you for so long, I know you've been real into the politics for a long time, and this is something that I feel has become such a big problem in this country is that you don't know what to fucking believe. You got, I like Trump, but you got Trump telling you everything is fake news, right? And that CNN and the left-wing media creates this bias against him. I mean, my father's 60-something years old, right? The guy's got lung issues from 9/11. He is the definition of like who's at risk for coronavirus. Every day I call him, what are you doing? Oh, I went to Home Depot. I had to get shrubs for this and that. I said, Dad, what are you doing? Stay home. He's like, this is just the media trying to sink Trump. And you know how many people I hear that from. So, and I'm not telling you, I don't have any inside information. I don't know anything. I know just as much as the next guy. And which is what's scary is that you don't know who the fuck, you don't know what to believe. You go read an article or you go on Twitter and you see like, what's her name? Candace Owens. She's like a right wing. Today she's tweeting about how I read her tweet. She was like, I don't know the exact numbers, but it pretty much said like I think it was 500,000 global deaths from the swine flu, and we're at about 500,000.
Talking about that,
right? And I'm just like, right. So you got that, and like I read it, and then I'm like, oh, that makes sense. But then I'm like, wait, 2009. I remember the swine flu. Like I don't remember like hospitals being short on man. Like I know people who work in these hospitals who are saying, yeah, like this is crazy. We don't have PPE. We're overflowing out of the ICU. My buddy works at Maimonides. He's texted me the other day. They turned a 40-bed unit into solely a unit for COVID-19 patients, and the ICU is full of them. And he's got So I don't remember that during swine flu. So then you say, but it just said it anyway. Back to my point is that.
I don't remember the swine flu. I know. We were probably hanging out doing
right. They're doing that, smoking pot or something. There's such a distrust in the media. So it's like you read an article, and instead of reading the article saying, "Oh, like I'm learning from it," you have like your bullshit glasses on. And you're saying stuff like, "Is this legit or not? Like, who's writing this?
Well,
is this guy a liberal? Is he a conservative? What kind of spin? Like, why can't we just get news? Like, this is what's happening, right? Like, crazy.
There was something I saw, and there was a line that I forgot where I read it, but it said if we do too much, this whole thing will blow over in a reasonable time frame, and we would have thought that we made too big of a deal about it. But if we don't do enough, we're going to really know about it because it's going to spread to everybody. And, the 2%, people think, oh, it's only 2% death rate. Well, if it spread to 60 million people like the swine flu did, that's not 60,000 deaths. With the swine flu, that's over 1 million people.
Right. And also, like you said to yourself, only 2%. Like, all right, that 2%.
That's a lot.
Right, but not only that, but like, bro, who gives a shit what percentage is it? If your grandma's in that percent, you give a shit about that percent, right? Like if your father is one of that 2%, like yeah, I give a shit about it, right? Like,
yeah, people are just like it, and they're thinking, "Oh, I'll take my chances with it," but you taking your chances with it, and you don't know it's affecting. And there's more things coming out where it's affecting young people differently too.
That's what I said. Nobody knows. I mean, part of the problem is this thing started in fucking China, where it's a crapshoot. Like. Who knows what those numbers China's gave?
Those numbers, I don't believe those.
And who knows, like any information they're getting from China, like you take it with a grain of salt. So all right, so this has been popular in our, it's probably been around. I mean, you got this. You got De Blasio tweeting on March 6th or March 3rd, whatever it was, like, don't worry about coronavirus. Go ride the subways. Go do the.
Like, go watch some movies.
Yeah, go watch an Italian movie. Thanks, Big Bird.
That's a douche.
You got But this is then I think I actually saw something. New York City Department of Health like tweeted a something out like about their response to the coronavirus. It was January like 27th or something. So it's been in New York, I should say, probably for months now. You know, who knows? I don't know. I'm so fucking sick of this goddamn corona. Whatever the hell it is.
I think it's been here longer than we realized. And the testing was a big issue, but now that we're actually doing testing, you're seeing the numbers go up so much.
Right. I just keep saying to myself, you read the apex is like 2 weeks away, like, or they're saying this can go on till July. Like, what the fuck? You're trying to tell me that you can have all these businesses closed. The economy. What was the unemployment number today? They said it was like 3.5 million. It went up 1.5 million, or it went up 2 million, or some shit like that. Like, holy! I mean, and that was up until March 31st. Now March 28th numbers are gonna have a full week of this quarantine. I mean, it's crazy.
So I'm kind of wanted to talk on a little bit of a lighter side of the quarantine. Now that we beat the shit out of that horse.
All right.
Okay, do you have like food stockpiled at all?
I do. I understand why this doomsday prepping gets like addicting, bro. I have enough food, but I keep going to the store. And I'm like, get a few more frozen pizzas, a few more frozen vegetables. I got 20 cans of baked beans in there.
Dude, I have so many canned foods.
Yeah.
I keep bringing canned foods home, and Delasi's like, could you please stop bringing canned foods home?
It's addicting.
I'm like, no, these are good till 2023.
What's it like out in Texas right now? Is it as crazy? I mean, you obviously don't know. Are people taking it as serious out there, or is it?
It's probably not as bad as New York. But here, there's people like exercising in groups, like in the apartment complex. Yeah, I'm like, get these people the fuck out of here.
I honestly think that New York, I mean, it would make sense. It is like a port event. Like, I feel like everything starts in New York.
Because there's so much mass transit. Everybody's breathing out those trains.
But I feel like we're probably like 2 weeks ahead of I'm not saying everywhere else just because of the density probably won't have as many cases, but I wouldn't be surprised. Like, we're probably just a couple weeks ahead of everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, everyone, Florida, it's going to start exploding there. It's going to start exploding.
Yeah. You know what happened? I don't think my dad expected me to have any food or anything.
Right.
Because I'm getting orders from Amazon Fresh.
He's sending food to your house
at the door.
That's phenomenal.
And I'm like, it's like 1 hour. Like he'll send. There's just like a thing of like ground beef. Then like another hour later, he's like, go check the door. It was just delivered, and it's like bananas. And then like another hour passes. He's like, yeah, there's something else at your door. Go check. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Big Fred is a fucking legend.
And dude, I used to be stockpiling shit before then. So the freezer is just like jammed close. Right.
I've been doing pretty. I mean, but honestly, I went to the grocery store yesterday. It was empty, and there was a ton of food. So this whole like, there's gonna be no food left is bullshit. There was so much food. It was stocked. They had chicken. They had everything you can imagine.
I've been doing the pickup. I ordered the pickup because I don't want to be around people at the grocery store.
I had gone to Sam's Club. It was there was all these rumors going around. It was like last week that like, they're gonna go on lockdown on Friday, or you're gonna go on lockdown on Saturday. You're not gonna be able to leave your house. Like, I think people thought like the fucking National Guard was gonna be knocking door to door to like take to do like bed checks on you. But so you went to Sam's Club. It was empty. There was no paper towels, no toilet paper. Everyone needs their toilet paper. There was no chicken. There was nothing. But now everything seems to like calm down and like restock. I worry about the goddamn economy, man. I don't know how the hell you bounce back from this. Like if you feel bad for these people who own these small businesses.
I think we'll bounce back. I think they'll probably be, if this bill didn't address it, there'll be more stuff.
Oh, dude. I gotta tell you this story, right? So I'm fucking I want to get into the stocks, right? The stocks are crashing. I'm like, I gotta buy stock. This is time. Stocks are on sale. That's how people get rich. So I take like $2,500 and I open up an E-Trade account, and I'm like, I immediately think that this money's gonna transfer over. So I'm online. I'm googling, like I'm looking up 52-week highs, like what companies are getting hurt most. So I came up, I was like, yo, Boeing got like crushed. Boeing was selling for like $360, whatever. It was down to like $60. Disney got crushed. Nike got crushed. Like all these companies. So I said in my head, I'm saying like, bro, Disney, yeah, it's taking a beating right now, but it ain't going nowhere. Like Disney's everywhere. Like I gotta buy Disney. I'm like, I gotta buy Disney. I gotta buy Nike, and I gotta buy Boeing. So I'm like all pumped up. I go to place my order in. The fucking money doesn't clear. It takes like 4 days. Like with all that Bitcoin bullshit. Remember, like the money.
Yeah.
So
Get me started.
So the money didn't clear, and now the last 4 days I'm watching. I wanted to buy Boeing at like $70 or whatever, $80. It's up to 180. Disney went from like 60 or 80 up to like 110. I would have made like $3 or $4, whatever, a couple $1,000, a couple $100, whatever. Now the money cleared and everything's high. I don't want to buy nothing.
Everything went back up. Now you gotta wait for it to because
bro, it's gonna come down. It's gotta once all these reports come out, like more unemployment reports, and I don't think we've seen the bottom yet. I really don't, which is scary.
It's volatile. It's very volatile right now. But hopefully, Trump's saying by Easter we're gonna be at church singing "Kumbaya."
Trump. Hope he's right. I really do. I
hope he's right too, because I need that Trump check to come in the mail now. So
I think that, like I said, a lot of the problem too is like you don't know what to believe. You listen to like De Blasio on his press conference, and he's telling you half of New York is going to get infected. Half of New York is 4 million.
Do you know what bothers me? This is the last thing we're talking about Corona. You know what bothers me? I think it was the Jersey governor or somebody said, we're all going to get it anyway.
Right, that's good.
And it's like, then why are you putting these procedures in place to stop people from going out?
And then if we're all going to get it anyway.
Then that's why people are going out, because people that are looking for an excuse to go out, they'll grab onto that one thing and they're saying, fuck it.
Big segue here. You're talking about Governor Murphy. I'm not a fan of him, politics. But the guy got my man Greg Schiano hired back at Rutgers. They just signed a 4-star a commitment from a 4-star linebacker today. They got a top 15 recruiting class. Watch out for the Scarlet Knights, bro.
So this is how you decompress.
That's it. Rutgers, baby.
With the sports.
All you. Scarlet Knights.
Do you follow SportsCenter on Instagram?
Probably. Maybe. I don't know. They suck.
Dude, they keep posting. Like Steph Curry and Peyton Manning video chatted to their old college professors while they were in class because they're doing online classes. And it's like the most awkward thing I've ever seen.
I haven't seen any of these, but it sounds like a good idea in theory, but probably kind of like this podcast sounds like a good idea, but it's probably awful.
Dude, they're just because the students are just sitting there and they're like,
yeah,
and they're just looking
like on it's on a webcam like this right now.
Yeah, it's all like this, and then Peyton Manning will pop up, and he's like, "Oh, I just want to say, wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
Everybody's an expert with washing your hands.
Chicken palm, you taste so good."
So that shit, that fucking, like, because I decompress with sports and with Instagram too, and that shit. But yeah, you know more about college football than I do.
I'm a big I like college football, but I'm a little Rutgers spring ball. The spring game was supposed to be April 25th, canceled. I was hoping to try and use the FDNY football name to try and get down to watch some spring ball, but that spring ball's canceled. So it's a down. We started practicing for the FDNY football team. We had about maybe a month worth of practice, I guess, and now that's canceled, obviously. So they're trying to still keep the Cop game alive right now, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
When is that scheduled for?
It was scheduled for May 30th. It's pretty much, I don't think that date's going to happen, but they're hoping to kind of, push it back to July or August, whenever they can push it back to and get that game going. It raises a lot of money, and it's a big rivalry, and it's a lot of fun. So,
yeah, that would make sense if I guess they could push it back.
Yeah, who knows?
So we're good. So we're getting a little bit close to the hour here, and I do a rundown. I know you're not a big MMA fan, but I like to do a UFC rundown every episode.
All right, let's see what you got.
So UFC 249, is still apparently going to happen because Dana White.
Now, can you? Sorry to interrupt you. Who 249 is who versus who?
This is who versus who. This is Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Tony Ferguson.
So this is pretty much like
this is the super. This is like for like big MMA fans. This is like the dream team versus like whoever the dream team rival would be. Like 1992 dream team versus 1996 dream team, or 2008 redeem team versus 2012 dream team.
And so they're saying the fight may still be on. No audience.
He's saying, yeah, there's gonna be no. He said there's gonna be no audience. He said he has a location 99.9%. Everything is done. He said he's not giving it out to the media yet because they're blowing everything up. But you know, if there's a sport where you could feasibly have
100%, you got two people, right? Two people and two trainers, like
two people. There's some logistics with the coaches and with the judges, and you have so many fighters in the same area that are waiting to fight. But you said if they could pay for the test before it happens, you know, why not? And these things historically, like, and I said this the last episode, you know, they had the women's baseball league in order to keep people entertained during World War II because MLB was because baseball was like shut down. So they create
there's no crying in baseball.
Yeah, they create entertainment. They create entertainment things,
right?
In order to, so it's just. I think it'd be good. I think it'd be a big morale thing,
Listen,
especially if they.
I don't know much about fights in UFC, but I'll tell you right now. With nobody watching sports for the last 2 weeks, you put any kind of entertainment on, you could charge $200. People are going to be buying that.
Yeah, people could be buying it. But my idea is to put it on for free on just ESPN.
That would be amazing. Everybody would
so sick.
Everybody would be locked into it. Any kind of competitive sport.
And then and there's some big fights on that card too. And Dana White said he wants to put Francis Ngannou, who he's from Cameroon. Fucking hope he's from Cameroon. He's got 3 fights in a row he's won, and he's fighting the next big knockout artist in that division from Suriname. I think he's from Suriname. I hope I'm getting these countries right. He's fighting Rosenstrike, and that's a huge fight, too. And the winner of that is supposed to be like the number 1 contender that's going to fight for the heavyweight championship. But, you know, the story just came out today that John Jones got pulled over and for DWI and all that shit.
Get a fucking Uber, man. You're a millionaire.
Yeah. If there's one fighter that can afford that, like somebody posted on Twitter to pay one of his buddies $50,000 a year to just drive him around.
All right.
Like, why doesn't he do that? And then he had a weapon and he discharged it next to the vehicle. So, yeah, it sucks. He's the most talented, and it's just always something happening with this dude.
Isn't his brother's like in the NFL, right? His brother was a wide receiver for the Packers, James Jones, something like that. No.
His brother's off there. He's in the NFL. He's a defensive end. What's his name? Chandler
Jones. There we go. James Jones. No relation. Decent receiver for the Packers like a few years ago, though.
Yeah, James Jones. Yeah, he might be. I think he has 2 brothers in the NFL, but I don't think it's James Jones. I think it was somebody else. So yeah, that's what's going on in the UFC. I hope it does happen. There's odds that came out. Florida, of course, is the odds-on favorite to get the fight because they're fucking.
Joe, so they would do it in America? They should. Why can't they just go to like fucking I don't know some place that don't got corona? Like fly down there, just fight.
The thing is, Florida just did an MMA event like last week.
Nice.
With no crowd.
Florida don't care. The beaches are packed. Yeah. Good for Florida.
But they're the odds. There's one of the odds that you could bet on where it's going to be is international waters.
Imagine they do it on like the fucking on a one of these cruise ships that aren't going out anywhere. No one on a cruise. That would be
25 to 1 odds.
Sick.
That would be insane. Yeah, so that's what's going on in the UFC. Yeah, man, that's pretty much we pretty much touched everything on the agenda that I want to talk to you about. You really did a good job hammering home everything that you can on those fucking the corona, and it's a good perspective, and it's somebody that's on the front line perspective.
Lives. last thing before we go, I gotta ask you a question here. What's your take on the Facebook banners? I can't stay home. Hashtag I'm a nurse. How do you feel about these?
Well,
I'm still waiting for someone to make the hashtag I'm an attention seeker.
well, I know this is what I'll say. On Veterans Day, I see a lot of veterans will put, I served in a picture of them in uniform.
All right. Crazy.
And I can't see myself doing that personally.
What? Can you imagine I never imagined the need for like self-gratification, the self-pat on the back. Like, people are crazy, man. Whatever. That's a whole nother day.
If people do it, if it makes them feel better, I mean, whatever. I really don't have, to each their own. I think people, they're gonna be gratified regardless, because it's like it's the most important. Seeing this now, it's the most important profession that we have, I believe, is nurses, and anybody that is providing like hands-on healthcare to people. So, but people are saying I can't stay home. Oh, there's like essential workers that are like fucking accountants and shit right now. So they should, like, people like that should put essential worker, can't stay home, gotta file your taxes.
Right. I don't know. Ooh.
So anything you want to promote on here, or you want to put any speaking of self-aggrandizing?
If you want to take pictures, call my wife, AJ Photography. She does good pictures.
At AJ Photography on Instagram?
On the gram, bro. Do it for the gram. Dakota got sick of our podcast. She went upstairs.
So she serves the tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, or...
Yeah, she'll go anywhere for the right price. She's New York, New Jersey. She does good work. You know what? She actually gives a shit. So that's why she's good. She doesn't just, she takes thousands and thousands of pictures. I say, Jack, now you got to edit. These other people, that they go out, they take like 100 pictures, and they give you 100 edited pictures. My wife takes thousands and thousands of pictures. She's nuts because she loves to do it. So she's passionate about it. That's what makes it good. So if you want someone that actually gives you shit, you use my wife. If not, I don't really care.
No, I've seen her stuff. It looks awesome. Also, then for anybody that wants to send an email, I got the Gmail set up, TonyTalks8podcast@gmail.com, and it's TonyTalks8 on both Twitter and the gram. How you doing? Joe, thanks so much for coming on. I think this was really good.
Thank you for having me. Let's keep it going. We got to keep the momentum going. We'll get another one soon.
Yes, absolutely. And we got to do one with the big cat too.
Gotta get the big cat. The ratings will go through the roof when you get the big cat.
Ratings will go through the roof. You'll be like, this corona is a joke.
It's all bullshit. I solved the corona.
And then he's a vitamin shop being like, wait, this seems like it's a little serious. Which vitamin should I get right now?
I got biotin. Is that the right one?
I'm Googling it, and it's like, all right, well, they don't have it anymore. It's too late. Well, we tried. But, bro, you're my brother from another, and it was an honor to have you as the first guest, my man.
Absolutely. I love you, big guy. See you soon. Stay safe out there.
Tony Talks 8. Out.
Bye-bye.